Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? Hello. It's been a couple of weeks. But we are back in the chair. We are back in the studio. We got some baseball to talk about. How about the freaking Mets as of late? Made me cry myself to sleep every night this week. Man, oh man, those Mets are red hot. How about those Dodgers, though? Those Dodgers. They're playing pretty good. I made Dodger fans upset this week. They couldn't take that Francisco Lindor is actually going to give Otani a run for his money. They couldn't take it, ladies and gentlemen. They couldn't take it. How about the Phillies and the Orioles? Not looking too sharp this weekend. The Twins not looking too great. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get to it. Strikeout. The man's lucky that an old. He didn't leave home for one swing. Drill at the wall. There's no bringing that one. Junior, take the base and take a bow, number 13. Numbers that we never knew if we would see in the game of baseball. Hello. Welcome back. We are back in the studio. We are back in the chair talking power rankings. How are we doing? I gotta clean my desk. Hold on a second. I got a lot of stuff here. Hold on. There we go. I gotta clean the desk off over here. How are we doing, everybody? Hello. Welcome back. We are back. We haven't been back here for a couple of weeks now to talk the power rankings. Last week, just felt like, I had a few things going on. I had a couple of things I was working on video-wise, and, just wasn't able to really get anything going with the power rankings last week. Apologize for that. But we do have a couple of fun videos coming out this week. I did a video going back in time a little bit, looking back at the career of Joey Votto and how he was discovered by the Cincinnati Reds. So be on the lookout for that either this week at some point or possibly next weekend. With football season in full swing now, I'm sure a lot of you were on the tube today watching all of the football. How the heck did my Patriots beat the Bengals today? I did not see that one coming at all. That actually happened today. But with football now in full swing, football has been dominating here for the past week or so when it comes to the views. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but pretty much all across baseball land here on YouTube, views have just been down. That my guess is because YouTube has been more pushing all of the content for football as, we got towards opening weekend. So, kind of waiting on releasing that Votto video. I would like for that video to do well. Worked pretty hard on it. So we got a few other videos coming out this week as well. Going to be taking a look at some postseason contenders for this. We're still, about a few weeks away here. So I'm going to dive into some postseason contenders at some point this week, talk about their odds to possibly win a World Series, and hey, maybe even get out a couple of more off-season preview kind of stuff. Pretty funny how the last few videos, even though views have been down, the videos that have done better are the ones talking about the off season. It's funny how that works. We're at the end of the season here, but yet some of you are already craving off season content. Pretty funny how that happens, right? Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get to it here. And everyone, if you can, all I ever ask for on these streams, it looks a little dark. Is it dark? It looks a little dark right now. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, if you can, just hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you are new, and hit that bell notification. That way you know I go live whenever. And there you go. Hit that share button for me. Let's get this out there for more people, for the replay viewers as well, for those people that are going to wake up tomorrow morning and see what my potato face has to say. Here we go, everyone. Let's get to it. You know how this works. We start from the bottom and we go all the way to the top. But we made a bit of a change not too long ago. We're not going to be going 30 to number 1. We're going to start at 20. Even that feels a little high at this point. But don't want to make it awkward and just start at 15, and then, let's just start at 20. But we are going to go over a couple of news for the teams that are in the bottom 10. And real quick, hey, we had a lot happen over the last couple of weeks here. And Matt Chapman getting himself a juicy extension this past week. 6 years, $151 million, running from 2025 to 2030, a $25 million annual salary. I don't know if anyone noticed this, but Matt Chapman, he has been having himself, quietly having himself a good year. I feel like most of the focus has been on Blake Snell with the San Francisco Giants, right? We were all focused on the struggles that he was having in the beginning of the year, but second half came back from another injury, and he has looked sensational. He will most likely 100% be opting out of that contract and testing free agency yet again, hoping to get a longer term deal this coming offseason. But Matt Chapman, this is a guy here I don't feel like anyone was really talking about this year. He has a 6.3 baseball reference wins above replacement, hitting 249 on base at a 333, slugging at a 444, 778 OPS overall, a 122 OPS plus. Now, if you go to Fangraphs, they are going to go a little lower on his wins above replacement. I believe he's in the fours over there. But the big reason for this is the defense. His defense at third base is once again in that elite territory. You got to remember, he had hip surgery not too long ago, so it's taken him a couple of years here to really fully get back into the groove of things, but he's positioned himself to be one of the top third basemen in the game. And hey, you know what? I'm not surprised that he's staying with the San Francisco Giants long term. He was with Oakland for so long. You know, he loves that area. So, hey, good for the Giants, good for Matt Chapman, and good for Scott Boras as well. And funny enough, Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery did talk about their relationship with Scott Boras recently. This is a little bit of a while ago. Again, we haven't been here for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to chime in. Remember last offseason, we had the Boras four, right? We had Snell, we had Montgomery, we had Chapman, and we had Bellinger, and then Scott Boras just completely screwed everyone over when it came to getting guaranteed long-term contracts. And Jordan Montgomery, he actually had quite a thing or two to say. And yeah, Jordan Montgomery has not had himself a great year. He's most likely going to opt. He'll exercise that option for the Diamondbacks because there's no way that guy can go back out into the market. Unless, who knows, maybe we've seen weird things happen before. But when asked about Scott Boras, he said, I don't know. Obviously, Boras kind of butchered it. And he was talking to the Boston Herald about this. So he's saying, I'm trying to move on from the offseason and try to forget it. And he did add that, to his knowledge, he did not receive an offer from the Red Sox in the winter. So remember, go back to that offseason. There was a lot of talk of Montgomery and the Red Sox. It was every day I was talking about it. It seemed like such a perfect match, and it just never happened. He went on to say here, yeah, for sure. Me and my wife loved it here. And remember, because his wife was working in Boston at the time, he said it would have been awesome if it would have worked out that way, but it didn't, you know? So, and actually, Scott Boras responded to this saying, I saw what Jordan said. I know what it is to be frustrated with this game. As a former player, I feel for him, but I'm also a lawyer with obligations to my clients, including former ones, so I cannot discuss what happened or the decisions Jordan made unless he gives me permission. If he gives me the green light, I'll be happy to talk about it. I've been doing this for over 35 years. I relay all offers and relevant information to all my clients and act at their direction. They make all decisions. We wish Jordan well. So who knows what ended up happening there? Who knows? I mean, I don't know. just pretty funny how that all worked out. But in the end, good for Max Chapman. We had a couple of call-ups lately. Dylan Cruz coming up to the Nationals. One of the top prospects in all of baseball. I think the Nationals are going to be very fun to watch here. I think they're going to be fun to watch in the offseason. Keep an eye on them. I think they could be a sneaky team. The Reds promoting Brett Lauder recently. Keep an eye out for him. He's already looked pretty solid. And the Angels, they promoted Caden Donna as well as Samuel Aldegary recently. Caden Donna's even looked pretty good too. So, yeah, we're getting those call-ups here late in the season, and we're rolling towards the postseason here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get this going here. Let's start at number 20 with our power rankings. Here we go. At number 20, we have the Texas Rangers. Hey, you know what? The Rangers, I mean, at this point, let me actually just double check where the Rangers are at in the standings. As of right now, they are 6.5 out in the wild card. I mean, they have been playing pretty good baseball as of late. Won their series against the Yankees this past week, as well as their series against the Angels. Wyatt Langford had the walk-off grand slam against Clay Holmes, Yankee fans' favorite pitcher this year. My goodness. DeGrom, Scherzer, they're both working their way back. Let's see. You know, DeGrom obviously is going to, you know, he's with the Rangers for the long haul here. But Scherzer, you know, for next year, let's see what happens with him. He's going to be a free agent. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening there. But, yeah, look out for those guys. They're probably going to get a start or two in by the end of the year. At number 19, we got the St. Louis Cardinals. You know, not really too much to talk about with the Cardinals, right? They're out of this thing now, but, you know, winning a couple against the Brewers this week. Did lose 2 out of 3 against the Mariners, so we'll talk about the Mariners in just a little bit, but we got a little something on Jordan Walker. He came back up recently, and he's been hitting okay. He's got a couple of home runs. He's slugging .519 over his last 7 games, and he hit a double today. So Jordan Walker, could he be on his way to getting his career fully going here, right? Highly touted prospect for a couple of years there. Hasn't really been able to get it going in the major leagues. Let's see. Jordan Walker 2025. Can we finally see that breakout from him? We'll just have to wait and see. How about the Tampa Bay Rays at number 18? They're playing spoiler here, winning 2 out of 3 against the Orioles this past weekend. This is the Rays team that I've always hated. This pesky team. They're annoying. They just ruin everything, right? You're having a wonderful day, and then they dump a glass of milk on top of your head, right? Man, Jose Siri. Did anyone see that catch with Jose Siri this past weekend off Gunnar Henderson? Holy cow. What a home run robbery that was. If you didn't see it, go to YouTube land and or wherever you go get your highlights and go check that out. Pepiel, Littell, they both pitched well this weekend. And yeah, Yusita, yeah, I see you, Lock Smart, in the chat. He has been pitching wonderful. Yeah, Baseball AI, I don't know why this is so dark, because I got all my lights on. I don't know what's going on. Why is it so dark in here? I don't know what's happening here. I don't know. You're going to have to deal with it here. I got to figure. It might be because my light might be a little, I think it's a little too far back. Yes, I have a little light that tries to, you know, light me up and make me look a little better than I usually do. I think it's in the wrong spot right now. Here we go. At number 17, we got my Red Sox. Yeah. I mean, you know, they were pretty fun there in the first half, right? They put together a couple of runs there, and they were making things interesting. But in the second half, look, this is what I expected. I mean, I basically said this, right? I think this is a team that's going to hang around in the wild card picture. You know, coming into the year, I was saying this, a team hanging around in the wild card picture, but I feel like they're probably just not going to have enough to get it done in the end. This is exactly what I saw with this Red Sox team. And here it is, right? Getting swept by a red-hot Mets team. You know, they won 2 out of 3 against the White Sox, but let's be real. That should have been a sweep. It's almost embarrassing that they did not get the sweep this weekend. What can you do? But again, I saw this with this Red Sox team. You know, they're just not quite there yet, right? They have talent there, but you have to have not just a good major league team, but you have to have an organization that is churning out guys that can come up to the major league level, give you good production, not just star players like a Marcelo Meyer or Roman Anthony or Kyle Teal, right? None of those top prospects, but guys like Richard Fitz, who came up today, right? Made his major league debut today, actually pitched pretty well, 5 2/3, 2 earned. But listen, they need more of those guys that can step up and be role players, right? It is what it is. But the Red Sox, they're just not quite there yet, right? But Richard Fitz also, remember, he was one of the guys that the Red Sox got back in the Alex Verdugo trade. But yeah, the pitching was way up and down for the Red Sox this year in the second half. They're dead last in the second half when it comes to pitching overall. Offense, right? Their offense has been pretty solid all year, right? They ranked 10th in the second half. Jarren Duran, he's been amazing this year. Yoshida, he's really heated up here in the second half. Tyler O'Neill, he's, had a couple of injuries this year, but overall, his best season since 2021, had a few home runs this week. Tyler O'Neill, he's going to be an interesting, player, interesting free agent this winter. I expect a few teams to try and get in on him. A team that could use some offense. Look out for a team like the Detroit Tigers looking at someone like Tyler O'Neill. I could maybe see something like that. But for the Red Sox, again, this is what I expected. Not surprised really at all. Also, Bobby Dahlback designated for assignment. I know Bobby Dahlback completely fell off in the last couple of years, but Bobby Dahlback was a guy, for the Red Sox in 2020. I mean, that was basically a lost season for them. And he was really like the only bright spot on that team. And, 2021, they made this great run to the postseason, to the American League Championship Series. He had 25 home runs, slugging at almost 500 that year. And he gets DFA'd. Let's see what ends up happening. If he ends up clearing through, waivers, no one picks him up, no one claims him, then he could end up just going back to AAA for the Red Sox. But I do hope he latches on with another team. I just feel like the opportunity with the Red Sox, it's just not going to be there. I would like for him to get another opportunity with another team. For the Cubs, at number 16, I actually have to click on the team. The Cubbies, how about them lately, right? They got red hot. We weren't live last week for power rankings, but before that, they were winning left and right. They had won 9 out of 10 against the Marlins, the Pirates, and the Nationals, taking advantage of some weaker teams, but had a downer of a week here, losing 2 out of 3 against the Yankees this weekend, losing 2 out of 3 to the Pirates. Now, I don't want to say a downer of a week because, hey, they made a little history this week. They had a combined no-hitter. Imanaga, 7 innings. You had Pearson and Hodge close it up for a couple innings at the end. Imanaga, I mean, what a great story he's been this year. Who would have thought Yoshinobu Yamamoto would be outdone by Shota Imanaga at this point of the year? I know Yamamoto's had the injuries this year, but listen, hey, at the end of the day, availability is a stat at the end of the day, and Imanaga has had the better season overall than Yamamoto because he has just been more available. I mean, who saw that one coming at the end of the day? I don't know. But Jameson Taillon did pitch pretty well against Garrett Cole today. 6 innings, 1 earned. The offense, they were red hot there for a little bit. Like I said, they were winning left and right, but they were hitting all over the place, right? Swanson, Happ, Peter Crow Armstrong, Bellinger, all of those guys are hitting well. But this past weekend, they only scored 2 runs. So the offense, it took a bit of a hit this past weekend. But the Cubs, looking at where they are in the standings, they are 5 back in this wild card race. It's not impossible, but it's looking a little grim for the Chicago Cubs. How about the Detroit Tigers? 3.5 out in the wild card race. The offense is starting to show some improvement. That's been a big problem for the Tigers this year, the offense. McKinstry, Carpenter, though, lately, they're hitting great. Parker Meadows with a go-ahead grand slam this past week against the Padres. That was massive. Fun stat, first ever to hit a go-ahead grand slam when your team is down by 3 and you were shut out all game and you were 1 out away from losing. I know that was a lot to digest there. I'm sorry about that. But Parker Meadows, gotta love it. Riley Green, he keeps on hitting well lately. And Trey Sweeney, he came back in the deal for Jack Flaherty. And I think Trey Sweeney has found himself a home 4-for-4 today, hit a home run. Trey Sweeney, I think that's going to be a bat that's going to be in the Tigers lineup every day next year. Skubal picked up a win against Oakland this week. He's looking like the automatic Cy Young. The bullpen, though, was not very good this week for the Tigers. They had two blown saves as well as 3 losses out of that bullpen this week. But the Tigers are right there. They're right there. They got the pitching, right? If they can get enough of these guys to, step up with the bats, maybe, I don't know, though. We'll have to see. It might be too little too late for the Tigers, but they're still in it. They're still in this thing. At number 14, we got the Mariners. This has been probably one of the most frustrating teams in the history of this channel. I would say the 2024 Mariners might be up there when it comes to the most frustrating teams that we've ever talked about on this channel. We know the story with the Mariners, right? They can't hit. They can pitch. That's it, right? But they made the change. Scott Service fired back in late August. Got replaced with Dan Wilson, former Mariner. Edgar Martinez, Mariners legend, is the hitting coach. Since then, they are 9-7, but the offense is 4th overall. Now, a big reason for that is they've had a couple of offensive outbursts, right? One, they scored 16 runs against Oakland this past week, and they scored 10 runs today. So they definitely scored in some bunches there, which has been, the one thing with an inconsistent offense. This has been the one consistent thing with them, is that they're consistently inconsistent, right? So that's usually anytime the Mariners, anytime that offense, you see them, they come in bunches, right? However, they have been hitting pretty well lately. Polanco, finally, Jorge Polanco is actually starting to do something. Hit his 14th home run today. Randy Rosarena had a 2-run home run today. Cal Riley's been red hot lately. Victor Robles is looking like one of the most underrated pickups of all time. He's looking great. Julio Rodriguez, Luke Raley, they've been hitting well too. Justin Turner's been picking it up a little bit. So the offense is starting to move a little bit. They continue to get good starting pitching. The bullpen took a couple of losses this week. But listen, the 3.5, is it 3.5? I believe it's 3.5. 3.5? 3.5? 3.5 back in the wild card. They're 5 back in the division. Again, it might be a too little too late kind of a thing, but if they can keep swinging and they can just keep this pitching together, if they get into the postseason, listen, I know it might sound crazy, but listen, if you can pitch in the postseason, you got a chance. So the Mariners, they're going to have to do some things here in the last few weeks, but they're right there. At number 13, we got the Twins. This is another weird team this year, right? I remember at the beginning of the year, I was thinking, okay, Minnesota Twins, way too up and down, way too hot and cold. But then they started playing more consistently over the next couple of months. And I'm like, okay, all right. I like this Twins team. All right. I think there's a lot here. The one problem with the Twins, though, is they've been having a ton of injuries, right? Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, Max Kepler, Joe Ryan on the pitching staff. They're all on the IL. Who knows what's going on with Carlos Correa at this point? He tried running with cleats, and I guess that has not worked out. Byron Buxton, once again, this guy's dealing with injuries, and I guess he had a bit of a flare-up on his rehab assignment. Joe Ryan dealing with a bit of a shoulder thing. I don't know. The Twins right now, there's some concern here, right? Because if you look at the Minnesota Twins in the wild card standings as of right now, they are hanging on to that third wild card. And listen, the Tigers, the Mariners, there is blood in the water. And the Twins right now, they are just trying to stay afloat. That's what it feels like, right? This past week, they split with the Rays. They got swept by the Royals this past weekend. The offense has gone completely cold. Lopez and Festa, they pitched well this past week, but Duran out of the bullpen took an L. Jax, he blew a save. Listen, this Twins team, I'm a little worried about this Twins team. A little bit. If the Mariners and the Tigers, if they have another good week, we could end up seeing maybe a 3-team race for this last wild card spot. We'll see. Let's talk about a hot team here. Let's talk about a hot team. How about the New York Mets? Man, I saw the Mets firsthand. My Red Sox getting completely manhandled by them this past week. They're tied for the third wild card right now with the Atlanta Braves. Who saw this one coming? Who saw this? I don't think anyone did. Well, I will say this. If you go back, I challenge all of you in this chat right now. Go back to the preseason power rankings. When I talked about the Mets, I think I even did a video on grades. I don't even know, but go to my my preseason previews. I was talking about the Mets. I'm like, listen, I think this is a pretty decent Mets team. I think they're a team that's going to be hanging around for that wild card. And a lot of people weren't giving this Mets team a chance. I remember when JD Martinez was saying that he wanted to sign with a team that was can compete for the playoffs. I remember he got trashed on by so many people. Where are all those people now? Where are they? I don't see them anywhere, because here in the Mets, tied for the third wild card spot. It's like, it's so funny when people they trash on a comment that someone makes, and like it's so funny. They all disappear. No accountability, nothing. They're gone forever, and you never see them ever again. I just will always remember that. I remember reading those comments thinking, man, it's going to be really funny at the end of the year if the Mets are right there in contention. And, hey, JD Martinez, he's getting the last laugh. But the Mets, they're playing fantastic lately. 7th in offense. Lindor, Vientos, red hot. Vientos, my goodness, second walk-off home run of the season against the Reds this past week. Lindor, listen, hey, listen, I made Dodger fans grumpy this past week. Oh my goodness, I have never seen so many grumpy Dodger / Otani fans in my life. I literally did a video this past week reacting to hot takes. Someone gave me a hot take. Lindor is the MVP. All I said in the video was, I think Lindor has a case because he's hitting well and he's playing great defense, right? But then everyone, I could tell, so many people didn't watch the video. I could tell. It's so easy to tell because you literally didn't listen to what I said in the video. I said in the video, Otani's going to be the MVP, most likely. But Lindor has a case. But yet, I get like tons of comments like say this guy doesn't know anything. This guy's a moron. Blah 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 blah. It's like, did you watch the video? And Lindor absolutely has a case to be MVP, whether you like it or not. Listen, and for people that are all over Otani, and I get it, Otani's amazing. I have nothing against Otani, but I keep seeing the argument, Otani's having a historic season, 50-50. Well, those same people, a couple of years ago, when Aaron Judge was having a historic season, they were still saying Otani should have won the MVP that year. Well, Aaron Judge was having a historic season. Well, why couldn't he win? Well, now that Otani's having a historic season, now Otani gets to win? I mean, you see the hypocrisy, you know what I mean? And not taking anything away from Otani. I mean, yeah, the guy he's a madman. He's an absolute lunatic. I mean, my goodness, a 50-50 season is crazy. I'm just looking at the complete player. I'm looking at, like, we need to stop focusing, laser focus so much on offense. Do you realize these guys go out there and play in the field? Like, I know when a guy grounds out to shortstop, you're on your phone, you're texting, whatever. I'll ground out to short. Hey, that's important. When a guy makes maybe not a flashy play, but, those plays that, might be a bit more difficult than a routine play, those plays matter. And you know who does that a lot? Francisco Lindor, right? You need to start giving more credit for defense. I know that's boring, but listen, I guarantee if you go ask most of those managers in Major League Baseball, I guarantee you so many of them would say Francisco Lindor, they would pick Lindor over Otani. I guarantee you, right? As fans, we like the offense. We like the bats. We like those sexy numbers. We don't care about defense because it's defense. It's boring, right? We need to start thinking about it that way, in my opinion. So, anyway, I do think Otani's probably going to win the MVP because that's, just the way the cookie crumbles, right? But Lindor, he's been playing amazing. I went on a bit of a rant there. However, a bit of bad news for the offense. Jeff McNeil, fractured wrist. Wasn't having an amazing season, but still, Jeff McNeil, that's a guy, he's been a veteran there for a few years now, and he's out for the rest of the year now. And that's a clubhouse guy, right? So, bit of a loss there. Bit of a loss. As for the pitching, though, Severino pitched great today, 6 2/3, 8 Ks. Took the loss, unfortunately, but he looked great. However, Sean Manaea, who is now expected to opt out, according to reports, why not? He's having a great year. Jose Quintana, David Peterson. David Peterson looked like Randy Johnson against my Red Sox. I'm going to say this. David Peterson in the first inning, when I saw him strike out, did he strike out the side? I can't remember. Either way, he just ran through the first few batters for the Red Sox in his start. I turned the TV off. I was like, yep, this game's over. This game's over. I knew it. But David Peterson, he's looking great. One of the more underrated guys in baseball this year. But the Mets, they're playing great. Let's see if they can finish the job. They're getting a lot of guys stepping up for them. A lot of guys. They're looking fun here. We'll see if they can get the job done. We'll see. Number 11, we got the Braves. Once again, sitting just outside of the top 10. Winning 2 out of 3 against the Rockies and the Blue Jays this week. Got the walk-off today. Good week for the Braves, right? The Braves, when it comes to the Atlanta Braves, they're a team, in my opinion, if they just get in to the playoffs, I think they can be a bit of a nuisance. I'm going to say that because this pitching staff is very good, right? Chris Sale, obviously, having himself just an amazing year, looking like the front runner for the Cy Young in the National League. 6 shutout innings against the Blue Jays today. Max Fried, Reynaldo Lopez, they look great in their starts this week. Tied for the wild card with the Mets. They did lose 3 out of 4 to the Phillies last weekend, but prior to that, they did win a series against the Phillies. So they traded back and forth there. But I will say this. Don't let the Braves get in. I don't know what it is. I just have this weird thing. If they get in, I feel like, a lot of people are going to pick against them. And to me, they have this lineup where they have enough bats to possibly get it done. They don't have that same 2021 kind of flair to them, right? I don't think they have that. At least as of right now, they don't. I don't see it personally, but they are going to have these guys come back, like Riley and Albies. They are going to need them. Let's see what happens there. But this is a team, I think they can run on that pitching. I think they can ride that pitching. And I think they could surprise some people. We'll see. But then again, could you imagine the Braves don't make the postseason this year? Man, oh man. Man, oh man. On to the top 10. Everyone, while I'm getting that set up here, if you can, just hit that like button for me. Make sure that bell notification is turned on, especially lately. We are struggling with views lately. I'm already even seeing this power rankings is one of our lowest viewed of the season. Football has officially returned and has taken over. But hit that bell notification. That way you know I go live every single time or upload a video. I will be uploading videos this coming week. And share the show. Subscribe if you are new. Here we go. Let's get to the top 10, shall we? Let's get to the top 10. At number 10. Oh, we actually got a super chat here. SoundFX is here. He is here. $10 super chat. Thank you, SoundFX. Braves remain at number 11. Fair. Series wins over the Rockies and the Blue Jays, but the wins are quite ugly. Number 1 versus Cincinnati. 2 or 1 versus Cincinnati, 2 against Washington, then 4 against the Dodgers. Sale and Lopez for Cy Young. Offense is still infuriating. That is one thing I forgot to mention with the Braves. Now, you got Ozuna and Kelnick hitting pretty well lately. Olsen and Soler, they're cold, though. And also Whit Merrifield. Whit Merrifield got hurt. I also want to make some comments, too, about what he said about all the hit-by pitches. I think he had a good point, right? I miss, the old days, where these guys, like Roger Clemens, Pedro, Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, right? The Kurt Schillings, right? I miss these days where pitching was a craft and it feels more like just a throwing sport than anything these days, right? How much velocity can you pump in? How much spin rate you got, right? Did anyone catch the Greg Maddux little not documentary, but like that little thing where he was sitting down and he was just kind of going through, how he would just work through hitters? Amazing. That is pitching. That is so good, right? Where you're just using strategy, right? And just, thinking deeply about what pitches to throw in certain counts, where to throw a pitch, right? Thinking about the location, right? Instead of just trying to, pump 98, 100 miles an hour in there and, just get by with stuff, right? And then guys are just blowing their arms out. I miss the old days of pitching, man. It was so good, right? Now it's just like, I don't know. It's not the same. It's not the same. Anyway, and sound effects. Thank you, my friend. I love you, my friend. You're amazing. And number 10. The Kansas City Royals losing 2 out of 3 against the Guardians this week, but sweeping the Twins. Their offense is 15th overall on the year, but they're 5th in the second half, and they got a bit cold this past week. Bobby Witt, what do you know? This guy's having an amazing year. Had a clutch go-ahead hit on Saturday against the Twins, put them in the lead. Unfortunately, though, Vinny Pasquantino, unless the Royals go on a deep run in the postseason, you're probably not going to see him for the rest of the year. A broken thumb on a play at first base not too long ago. He's going to be out for a couple of months. So, again, if they can go on a run, maybe they can get him back. Also, they picked up Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham just latches on to playoff teams. That's just a thing. I find it funny at this point. I think it would actually be a great video, like a fun video. Like Tommy Pham is like, what could we even call that video? Tommy Pham is every team's postseason dream. I don't know, like something like, you know what I mean? He just latches on to playoff contenders. It's so funny every year. And once again, and he's hitting well with the Royals. I'm just saying, hey, he latched on with the Diamondbacks last year. Does that mean the Royals are going to make a run to the World Series? I don't know. They got a guy that could maybe help get them there. Cole Reagan's looking amazing this past week. The 4th Royal ever to have 200 strikeouts in a season. Cole Reagan's, man, what a pickup. Michael Wacha looked amazing against the Twins today, 7 shutout innings. Lucas Erceg continues to pitch well after getting traded from the A's at the deadline. A couple of saves this past week. The Royals, man, hey, they're playing great. And listen, I've talked about pitching. They got the pitching. They got the starting pitching for the postseason. They could be something. They could be a pesky team in the postseason, man. At number 9, we got the D-backs. They played tonight. They're on TV. But in the end, what was the final score? What was the final score on that? I know they were tattooing the Astros at one point. All right, 12-6 final. But in the end, they lose 2 out of 3 to the Astros. But my goodness, Pavin Smith. Wow. Grand slam, 3-run home run, solo home run. Crazy. Man, I remember Pavin Smith a couple of years ago. I was so high on him, and he just never really got it going. Well, there he is. 3 home run night. off of Justin Verlander. We'll talk about him in a little bit. I see some of you in the chat talking about him. But as for the Diamondbacks, hey, losing 2 out of 3 here to the Astros, but they did win 2 out of 3 against the Giants earlier in the week. They did lose 3 out of 4 against the Dodgers last week. So the D-backs, they got red hot there for a little while, but they're starting to stumble a little bit. Let's see if they can get this turned around, but they've looked fantastic overall in the second half. Offense ranks 4th overall in Major League Baseball. Eugenio Suarez, he is red hot lately, 4 home runs, and a slugging over 900 in the last 7 days. Corbin Carroll, Perdomo, Grichuk, those guys are hitting well, and Ketel Marte came off the IL this week. This offense for the Diamondbacks, listen, it's a good lineup. Very good lineup, and these guys are hitting their stride at the right time. As for the pitching, the starting pitching ranks 10th overall in the second half. Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Nelson, all pitching well lately. Eduardo Rodriguez, though, he's been getting rocked as of late. And this bullpen ranks 5th overall in the second half. I'm going to say this right now. Don't be surprised if the Diamondbacks get back to the World Series. Just don't be. I know they're not, like, I can see it now. I can see it. People are going to be, they're filling out their brackets, right? They're going to be looking at the sexier teams, right? You're going to be looking at the Dodgers, You're going to be looking at maybe the Padres, right? Teams that have, like, that more name appeal. Don't be surprised if this Diamondbacks team once again gets to the World Series. They look like a complete team. They do. Offense looks great. And, baseball AI. The Phillies. I mean, yeah, a lot of people are going to pick the Phillies, right? A lot of people. I'm sorry. But here's the thing, baseball AI. Here's the thing. Who picked the D-backs last year against the Phillies? Who? Who picked them? Who picked them? Who picked them? I'm just saying. Not many. Not many. Don't be surprised. I'm just saying. But Diamondbacks, they look good. Top to bottom. They look good. Lineup's deep. They're getting healthy. Corbin Carroll's back on track. Starting pitching, they got a lot of it. And they're getting healthy at the right time. Jordan Montgomery, I will say this. Listen, I would not be surprised if this happens, right? Jordan Montgomery has a terrible year. Postseason comes on. And then Jordan Montgomery, the postseason Montgomery, returns. And you know what I mean? Would you be surprised? I just wouldn't be. Bullpen has looked really good. I like this Diamondbacks team, man. I do. You do not want to play this team in the postseason. I'm sorry. I don't care what you say. Where were we? I wouldn't want to play this team either. The San Diego Padres. Listen, they have taken a couple bumps, right? They did win 2 out of 3 against the Tigers. They lost 2 out of 3 against the Giants this week. But overall, they rank 5th in offense. Jackson Merrill continues to have a great year. Machado, Arise, Bogarts, they've been hitting pretty well lately. I like this lineup for the Padres. I really do. I think they can give you some problems in the postseason. Starting pitching has been a bit up and down as of late. Dylan Cease, he's been getting knocked around a little bit. Musgrove had a bit of a tough start today. 6 earned and 4 1/3. Michael King did pick up the win against the Giants this weekend, though. We're still waiting for Darvish. Let's see when he comes back. But this is some good pitching. I think in the postseason, this is another team you don't want to go up against, right? Bullpen, 5th overall in Major League Baseball this year, but Suarez did have a blown save against the Tigers that we mentioned that earlier with the Parker Meadows grand slam. But the Padres, listen, they've been playing good baseball here in the second half. They are at number 8 for me. At number 7, we got the Guardians winning 2 out of 3 against the Royals this week, but losing 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. They are up 2.5 games in the American League Central. That division is not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. It is not over. And actually, just let me double check that. Unless I missed something. 2.5 games. And actually, do the Royals and the Guardians play? anymore. I feel like they might have one more series. No, they're done. They're done. Actually, the only division opponent the Royals have left are the Tigers. So, yeah, this division's not over. This division is not over, but the Guardians, they picked up some important wins here, winning 2 out of 3 against the Royals. Offense ranked 16th overall on the year. Not a whole lot to highlight with the offense. Brian Rocchio has been hitting pretty well lately. And Lane Thomas. This guy was doing terrible when he first came over. That trade was looking bad. And Lane Thomas, he's finally starting to hit. So he's getting that turned on. Right. But the offense went a little cold this past weekend against the Dodgers. The starting pitching, it's been up and down all year. It's been one of the worst rotations in all of Major League Baseball this year. Bybee took an L today. Gavin Williams has been a bit shaky lately. Matthew Boyd has been a really good pickup for them. 6 innings, 1 earned, 6 Ks against the Dodgers. Matthew freaking Boyd, hello, welcome back. My goodness. Alex Cobb, he did look really good in his last start against the Pirates, but didn't start this weekend because of a blister. So, I don't know, man. Bullpen continues to be great, though. Clase with a couple more saves this past week. But the Guardians, they got to finish the job. They got to win this division. Number 6, I got the Brewers. Losing 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals and the Rockies. Not a good week for the Brewers here. Looking a little cold. Offense has been up and down. I'm worried about the offense as a whole. Without Christian Yelich, I think that was a big loss. I know they got a lot of good bats there, a lot of young bats, right? Jackson Churio. You got Bryce Terang, obviously. You got Joey Ortiz, William Contreras. But Christian Yelich, that's Christian Yelich. He's looked great over the last couple of years, and unfortunately, the back injury ended his season. That's a big bat to lose, man. There's so much protection there, right, for the other guys. I just wonder in the postseason if that's gonna really bite them. We'll see. But like I said, you got the young guys hitting well, along with Willy Adames. Willy Adames has been quietly having a good year. Starting pitching, it's been a lot better, right? Since August 1st, after the trade deadline, they ranked 25th in starting pitching on the year, but they're 11th since August 1st. A 3.32 ERA since then. Freddie Peralta, kind of whatever today, but he's been pretty solid lately. Savali, Tobias Myers, they've been pitching great lately. Frankie Montas, he's pitched great since coming over to the Brewers at the deadline. But the Brewers, right, they're just a little up and down as of late, so they drop a little bit here. At number 5, I got Houston back in my top 5. I know they got swept by the Reds. Hey, whatever, it happens. I mean, don't act like other teams haven't gotten swept this year, right? It just happens, right? The Astros have looked great in the second half, and they just won 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks this past weekend, despite the loss tonight. Offense ranks top 10, 9th overall. Kyle Tucker finally back. Yordan Alvarez, red hot. Jose Altuve, hitting great. Don't got to worry about this offense, right? Sometimes they can be... there have been times this year where they don't come through with runners on. I don't know, man. I just trust the bats with this Astros team. I'm not worried about it. Starting pitching has been a complete revelation here in the second half for Amber Valdez, Hunter Brown. They've been pitching great. Neither have given up a run in their last 2 starts. Absolutely fantastic. Kikuchi's been a great pickup despite giving up a huge package for him. Ronel Blanco, right? He's just been solid all year. Verlander, right? Verlander's a bit of a talking point right now. Is he washed? Is he done? Is it over for Justin Verlander? Well, the thing is with Verlander, listen, you got to remember this, right? And this is a thing where this isn't MLB The Show, all right? I think a lot of people, they tend to, I got to come up with a term for that. You got to stop MLB The Showing everything. Is that a good term? I think maybe we could do that. You got to stop MLB The Showing everything, right? You can't just plug a player in and he pitches well, right? Verlander, you got to remember, he came back from, some shoulder stuff. I don't care if you have a rehab assignment. I don't care if you go on, make a few starts, right? When your season gets interrupted, a couple of times, listen, and you're such a routine-based player, right? Obviously, starting pitchers are very routine-based. It's going to take you a little bit to get back on track, right? And he's had himself a very up and down year with the health. His velocity's down right now. His fastball is getting hit hard. The curveball, it's got 1 inch less of spin right now. His curveball is not sharp, right? He's not looking sharp. It's not looking good. But, you know, he's in his 40s. I mean, what can you say? The guy's had an amazing career, but I think at this point, you know, to really expect him to be at the top of his game with the circumstances he's had, you know, it's kind of hard to count on the guy right now, and he'll probably say the same thing. Postseason, what I think is going to happen in the postseason, you know, I think they're going to roll with Framber. They'll go with Hunter Brown. They'll go with Kikuchi, Ronel Blanco there. I think Verlander, he'll play that Max Scherzer role like for the Rangers like last year, right, where he was kind of you know, if he's available, he can go, right? He's not going to be your like number one option, but he'll be there, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I don't think you can hand him a ball in games 1, 2, or 3. What I could see, if you did want to start him in like a game 4 situation, that could be something where you have him start and he gets a bit of a short leash, and that's where maybe Ronel Blanco can come in. Ronel Blanco obviously has the bullpen experience, so I could see a situation like that. So, but again, a short leash is most likely what I think is going to happen with Verlander. I think you give him the ball in the postseason because it's Justin freaking Verlander at the end of the day. But like Scherzer last year, right, he had a very short leash, right? So, but the Astros, they're looking great. Number 4, I got the Orioles. They drop a little bit here. They did win 2 out of 3 against the White Sox, but we all know how bad the White Sox are. Losing 2 out of 3 to the Rays over the weekend. They're 24-24 in the second half. I mean, listen. I'm very high on this Orioles team. I am. I picked them to go to the World Series before the year. But listen, the offense, you know, I love this offense. This lineup, top to bottom, pretty solid, right? Gunnar Henderson, he keeps on hitting well. Cedric Mullins has been heating up lately, too. Adley Rutschman, Colton Cowser, O'Hearn, a little cold lately. But overall, I like this offense. I'm worried about this pitching. This pitching, it's Corbin Burns did look a little better today. 6 innings, 2 earned. A little rough before that, though. He needs to put together a few more starts here and a couple of good starts in the postseason as well, and he's going to get himself a fat payday. Dean Kramer took a no-no into the 7th inning against the Rays this weekend. Eflin took a loss, though. G-Rod's hurt right now. I mean, he could be nearing a return, possibly throwing live BP, and then a rehab start soon. But again, is that getting back to the, you know, being up and down, is that going to be a thing? Is that going to be, you know, where his season kind of got messed up there? Is that going to come back and bite him? I'm worried about this. I'm worried about the Orioles pitching. The bullpen has been completely up and down. I don't know. The Orioles, they look great in the first half, but they're not inspiring me. You know, I've been kind of waiting for them to get going. I'm a little worried about Baltimore in the postseason. I'm a little worried. Number 3, I got the Yankees. The Yankees right now, I know the Yankees are a team that they shoot themselves in the foot a lot, you know? They shoot themselves in the foot. They lost 2 out of 3 against the Rangers this week, won 2 out of 3 against the Cubs this weekend. But man, they're again kind of like the Orioles, right? Like the Yankees. Here's the thing: the Yankees, they got the talent. But it's the decision making that tends to be the problem with the Yankees, right? You know, Brian Cashman, he'll make great moves. Jazz Chisholm move, loved it. I thought it was a great move, right? They needed to add some speed. They needed to add another dimension to their lineup. They did that. Good job. Why is Jason Dominguez still in the minor leagues? Why? I get Verdugo's been hitting a little better as of late. I get that. But, dude, there's more of a ceiling with Jason Dominguez, and it's so obvious. Is this really going to happen? Like, let's play this out. Let's play this out. Postseason. Clay Holmes blows a lead. 3 outs to go. I don't know. Someone grounds out, someone flies out. Here comes Alex Verdugo. Alex Verdugo grounds out to second base. The Yankees are eliminated. Is that going to happen? At this point, I wonder if that's going to happen. Why is Jason Dominguez not with this team? Jason Dominguez, I get it. Verdugo's been hitting well. But Dominguez, there's something about the guy. Verdugo's not it. He's not it. He's just not. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, if I'm looking at the two, Dominguez gives you way more of a ceiling. Way more. Gives you more potential for power. He's going to give you more speed. He's going to give you better defense. What is going on? Like, why? I don't know. I get it. You know, Verdugo was hitting well. I respect that the Yankees, they like to lean on their veterans. This is just such a bad move. The Yankees, to me, they're their own worst enemy. They are. It's every year, you know? And hey, look, they're having a great year, right? Juan Soto's been amazing. Aaron Judge, obviously. But again, is this going to be another year where they just shoot themselves in the foot? I don't know. Soto, Glaber, Jazz, and Verdugo have been hitting well. Judge has actually been a bit cold lately. In case, I don't know, has anyone noticed? No one's been really hearing about Judge as of late. It's been more about Otani. Starting pitching has been pretty solid lately. You know, Garrett Cole took the loss today. And he didn't even give up a run. Funny. Luis Gil, 6 shutout innings against the Cubs. He's looking great. Nestor Cortez, though, moved back to the bullpen. He was very frustrated with it. Kind of weird, man. I wonder if Nestor Cortez is going to be on his way out in the offseason. I think my prediction right now, I think Nestor Cortez is going to be with a different team. I think the Yankees, because he's spoken out a couple of times now, and I think he's going to be gone. He's popped up in trade rumors before. I think the Yankees are okay with moving him at this point. I think he will be with a new team next year. Another blown save for Clay Holmes this week. Walk-off grand slam to Wyatt Langford. The Yankees are now going with a closer by committee. I hate closer by committees. 2003 Red Sox will always kill me. But Luke Weaver did pick up a save this week. So the Yankees, man, I don't know. They got the talent. They got the stars. They could definitely make it happen. Are they going to make the right decisions? Are they going to push the right buttons? The Yankees got the buttons. They got all the buttons to play with. Are they going to push the right ones? I don't know, man. Number 2, I got the Phillies. I got the Phillies at number 2. I've had them at number 1 for a while. The Phillies have not been amazing in the second half. They've been playing a lot better as of late. Let me actually double check here. Let me double check their record in the second half. They're 23-23 in the second half. But they are playing well in September. They're 5-1 so far in September. Well, actually, they just won. They just lost today. So they're 5-2 in September. I think when I think of this Phillies team, I think they're just waiting to get to the postseason. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're kind of like, all right, whatever. Regular season. Okay. Let's just get this done. We care about the postseason. Right? But you know what? When it comes to the power rankings, you know, I like to look, what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, do these power rankings really mean anything when it comes to the postseason? Probably not. Right? So we'll see. But the Phillies are good. They are good, but it would be nice to see them playing a little bit better, right? They did have a couple of injuries there. They did score 16 runs on Friday night. Kyle Schwarber is red hot in his last 7 games, hitting .419 with a 1,000 slugging and 4 home runs in his last 7 games. Bryson Stott's hitting well. Their first in starting pitching on the year. Zach Wheeler with another good start, 6 innings, 1 earned against the Marlins, making a push for the Cy Young. I don't think he's going to win the Cy Young, but he's having another good year. Seth Johnson debuted today. He got pummeled. But hey, the Phillies are what they are. They're a good team. They're a great team. I mean, at this point, it's like, who cares what they do in the regular season, right? But I got to go at number 1 with the team that's just playing great baseball right now, right? They're getting healthy. They're winning games. They're putting it together. They're getting hot. Dodgers are number 1, winning 3 out of 4 against the Diamondbacks. Last weekend, they split with the Angels this week, winning 2 out of 3 against the Guardians. They have not lost a series since the beginning of August. They're winning baseball games, ladies and gentlemen. And I can talk stats, I can talk, WRC plus, I can talk about FIP, I can talk about whatever. At the end of the day, if you win games, you win games, right? And the Dodgers are winning a lot of games lately. They're first in offense on the year. Otani, we talked about him earlier. I do think Francisco Lindor is a legitimate MVP candidate. If you don't like it, I don't care, because it is what it is. Francisco Lindor is a fantastic player and absolutely has a case for the MVP. But that doesn't mean Otani doesn't have a case for the MVP either. I'm not saying Francisco Lindor is the MVP. I'm just saying he has a case. Otani absolutely has a case for the MVP. Of course he does. Of course he does. He's having a great year. He is now 46-46. He is 4-4 away from 50-50. Mookie Betts, red hot in his last 7 games, .417, hitting .417 with an OPS over 1,300. That was another big one to return, and this lineup is absolutely loving Mookie Betts back. Max Muncy with a home run today. Freddie Freeman's hitting pretty well lately. Starting pitching. This is where it's going to be important for the Dodgers. Postseason, it's going to be important that their pitching is not just healthy, but consistent. Getting back to what I talked about earlier, right? I've talked about injuries. When they can kind of mess up your mojo, they can mess up your rhythm, they can mess up your season. Yamamoto is going to be coming back this week. Tyler Glasnow starting to throw. Robert says probably going to ramp it up soon. Gavin Stone is now on the IL. I won't be surprised if Gavin Stone doesn't make one more start this year. I could see him at this point. They hold him out till the postseason. He comes, he pitches in the bullpen a little bit. I could see that. I think postseason, you're going to see Flaherty, Yamamoto, right? Kershaw, obviously. So, however, with Yamamoto, he's got a few starts here, but again, is a few starts at the end of the season going to be enough for Yamamoto, who is in the United States in Major League Baseball for the first time in his career? Is a few starts to end his season going to be enough for him to get back into his mojo? That is a big deal, everyone. It's a big deal. And Dodger fans, you need to let that sink in. I'm not saying he's going to be bad, but don't be surprised. He gets a few starts here at the end of the year, and then postseason he coughs one up. Listen, it's being it's a human being, right? At the end of the day, will this be enough time for Yamamoto to have himself right for the postseason? It's a big deal. Just saying. Tyler Glasnow too. Will he be right? When's he even coming back? I don't even know. The offense, they're getting their offense back, right? They're getting their guys back. I'm not worried there. Rotation, yeah, I'm a little iffy on this rotation right now. I kind of need to see it, all right? I need to see the consistency. I need to see these guys making their starts. But again, you only got a few weeks left. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Bullpen, though. This bullpen is amazing. Man, oh man, what a pickup Michael Kopech's been. Phillips, Trinan, Vesia, they've been pitching great. I'm not worried about this bullpen at all. This bullpen is fantastic. Ever since Kopech came over, this guy's been great. Bullpen's been awesome. Dodgers right now, I kind of, a part of me wanted to stick with the Phillies at number 1, but you know what? The Dodgers have been playing great baseball. I'll give them the bump. Give them the bump. They're playing great. But everyone, those are my power rankings for this week. Those are my power rankings. I don't know if we're going to be back next week. I'm going to be honest. We had a pretty low turnout for the power rankings this week. I know we kind of started late, but right now, football, I don't know, man. Football is, I don't know, football is a bit of a different feel. I feel like last year, I didn't really see a whole lot of people excited about football. You know what I mean? I don't know. Am I the only one that kind of looking back in hindsight, I feel like football has gotten a bit more mojo this year? Is that just me? Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But football feels like it's really getting a lot of the headlines right now. Obviously, because it just came back. But, you know, like, again, it's really weird, right? You know, I'm going to be very honest with you. Like, it's very weird where I've been streaming now on this channel for 4 years, right? Streaming has been a big part of this channel. It's something I love to do it. I really do. I love coming on here. I love the interaction with all of you. I love looking in the chat. I love seeing everyone comment about stuff. It's always awesome, right? But again, like it's just kind of a thing where there's just weeks where it's, you don't know what the demand for it is, right? You know, people are off doing other things. You know, they're kind of interested in other things. And, so, for next week where, it's what, the 15th next week? It's the middle of September. And basically what I'm trying to say is right now, baseball, a lot of teams are knocked out. A lot of teams are out of it. There's not a whole lot of juice in the, you got a couple of tighter races right now, right? Mariners and Tigers trying to make some noise. You got the Braves and the Mets, but, Orioles and the Yankees too. There's just not a lot of juice right now. So I'm wondering, middle of September with football just coming back, I don't know. Like, I want to keep doing power rankings, but one thing that, I'm just being transparent with all of you is when for me, I want to try and get more videos out there. And those videos, if at the end of the day, they perform better than the streams, it is what it is, right? I got to kind of go with the flow and, go with what the people want, right? So, might not come back next week. Maybe the week after. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, we didn't even break 150 tonight. So I don't know. That's just kind of a telling sign where it might not be the best time. So and this is Bailey. I am very excited for October baseball. Oh yeah. I'm very pumped for that. So yeah, I'm just talking about over the next couple of weeks here. We will definitely be reacting to stuff in the postseason for sure. We'll definitely be reacting to stuff in the postseason, series wins, right? That'll be fun. That'll be fun. And this is Bailey. You are right. It is late. It is late. But listen, I've gone late. I've gone on here late before, and a lot of the audience on this channel is on the West Coast, so it's like 9:00 over there. So, that's kind of where I don't mind going on late because I still got a lot of the, that audience that comes in. But, yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. I'm tired. But everyone, I'm out of here. Those are my power rankings for this week. I might be back next week. We'll see. We'll see. If not, I got a lot of videos coming up. I'm getting excited to get those videos out to you. But everyone, and Maury's life, I love you too. I love you too, my friend. I love you too. Everyone, go have yourself a good rest of your night. Go get some sleep. Go get some rest. We got some baseball here over the next few weeks that we got to pay attention to. So I'll let you know if I am back on live for next week. Keep your eyes out for the community posts. I like to post in the community tab for pretty much anything I'm wondering about. So keep an eye out for that. Any questions or polls I might put out there. So stay on the lookout for that. So Dirk Diggler, I'm a new subscriber just today. Robbie, show up. I'm trying, Dirk. I'm trying, my friend. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I do appreciate that. But everyone, have yourself a great night. I'm going to go get some sleep. And I'll talk to you next time.